What's up guys, this is Coach Donny with ElevateYourself.org. Welcome to my favorite moments from Haikyuu Season 1. If you're new to this channel, I'm a volleyball coach who reacts to Haikyuu, and I just finished Season 1. You can watch all of my reaction videos linked in the playlist below. If you've been following me on this Haikyuu journey and have been enjoying my videos, please consider supporting me on my Patreon linked below, where you receive exclusive access to monthly live Q&A sessions, podcasts, my private blog, behind the scenes footage, and more. In this video, I'll be sharing my favorite scenes from Season 1 and then answering your top 10 questions from the fans. Don't forget that I'll be taking a 1-week break from making these Haikyuu reaction videos in order to recharge, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on Season 2 with me. Now let's get this Haikyuu party started. Alright, the first one is from episode 2. I'm already smiling because I know exactly what's going to happen. Powerful serve, Hinata gets in the way, and he's going to shank the ball into his face. And that slow motion of the face getting blasted, and then the toupee landing on Daichi's head. Oh, so good. And then just a moment of like awkward silence, and then Daichi just having his head slumped down, taking the wig off, knowing what's going to happen next. This is probably one of the best animated scenes when the ball hits his face and you see the extra skin and the fat on his face just jiggle, and then man, look at all that detail underneath the toupee, and everyone is shocked except for Tanaka. He's laughing his butt off already. And then to top it off, it lands on Daichi's head, and he just has this awkward smile, like he wants to laugh, but he knows that it's inappropriate and he doesn't want to piss off the principal. This might be one of my favorite scenes of the entire season. Alright, number 2 from episode 4. Oh, here we go. Tanaka celebration. Yes. And he's just still staying there, swinging that t-shirt around. So good. I know we all secretly want to do this on the court, but very few of us have the balls to actually do this on the court. I might probably do this in practice in front of my friends and teammates, but I don't think I would do this during a game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tanaka does do this during a game. This is when I first fell in love with Tanaka. This one's from episode 9, number 3. Oh, this one already gives me the chills. This is Asahi's breakthrough when he comes back to the team and he's going through that internal dialogue. And then the blood-curdling scream. Oh man. You just hear his voice just echo. We gotta watch that again and just listen to it. Oh man. You feel that intensity, that frustration, that desire to want to dominate and be better. I love it. And the best part is yet to come. His war cry followed by an amazing animation of the ball compression. You guys know what's coming up. And he's already decided that I'm going to crush this thing even if there's a block in my way. How fitting that his longtime teammate Suga was the one that set him up, was the one that set him the ball before that he got blocked, and now he gets to redeem himself. Oh, a little smile. He knows what's going to happen. Oh, man, you see that sweat coming down the face. Beautiful technique, reaching for the ball. Triple block. Oh, man. Man, those sound effects, that ball compression. Such a great way to illustrate the power and the determination of that spike. Oh, so great. Then ending on this beautiful image of Asahi embracing his role as the ace. Number 4, this is from episode 11. Sorry, the camera was blocking my view. Oh yeah, the scary scene. Already, right from the beginning, it already felt creepy. And I remember when I first watched this, I wasn't sure if Hinata was pranking them or whether he was being serious, because he looks like a possessed person right now, a possessed child. And Tanaka, he's supposed to be the badass. He's supposed to be the fearless guy, and he's a little scared. And then Nishinoya comes in, wondering what's going on. And of course, Tanaka's trying to play it cool and say, hey, why are you freaking out? It's just Nishinoya. And then Tanaka never loses an opportunity to laugh at somebody. He doesn't really think before he speaks. Oh, then Asahi looks even creepier. Number 5 from episode 13. See if you guys remember this one. Ooh, the Tanaka twins meet up. I love that fighting stance. And then we got that awkward body gesture. And this is my favorite scene, not because of what you guys might think. It's just like such a hilarious, awkward exchange about how they obsess over this girl, Shimizu. But even the tough guys will admit that they become jello when they meet a beautiful girl. And then this random awkward silence. I forgot what Shimizu means. And now Tanaka is proud to share his experience. Here we go. When you talk to her, even when she ignores you, it's still pretty good. Oh, so good. I remember those feelings back in the day. Even when you just walk by the girl you have a crush on, it just makes you feel like you're in heaven. Maybe you get a whiff of her hair. Number 6, episode 15. Oh, we get another Shimizu clip here. Yeah, she's been quiet this whole time, and this was where she really showed how much she cared about the team. And this whole time you're wondering, what is it? And it's just such beautiful calligraphy of the word fly. Very fitting for Karasuno, of course. Now everyone's charging up, getting their Super Saiyan on. Ooh. And then she's about to speak. The woman who doesn't speak a lot. But when she does, it carries so much weight. And then she runs away in shyness. And here we go, the reaction is the best. Oh, that tears just flowing out. It just shows how much everyone cares about the team. And then they get so fired up. I love it. It's all because of a few words from Shimizu and just her own expression of how much she cared about the team. Episode 18. This is number 7 here. Oh, this is like level 2 ace. Oh, no. This is the scene where Nishinoya... Oh, first we got the joust, though. Against Brawly And he gets that final push. Oh, but the slow motion scene is so great. You guys know what's coming up next. I gotta try this one day. Too fast for his reactions, but not fast enough for Nishinoya to look so cool. Oh man, it's like a sliding kick. Oh, that was a sick move. A sick move. Number 8 from episode 18. Moikai! I love that word. Oh, this is the one where Asahi goes level 2. Taking feedback from Suga to know how to set Asahi just right so he can fully be the ace on the court. Triple block coming up. And everyone's just cheering him on, saying, "You can do it." And this is his time for redemption. This was the team that shut him down before. And he's rising off the confidence of Nishinoya. I love that imagery. And those gates opening, that sound effects. So awesome. Breaking through that iron wall. More like the iron gate. It's not going to get let off that easy. We got to have some suspense. So tantalizing when you're like that close and you know you could have gotten it, but it's just far away enough. And then his blood-curdling cry. Oh, that scream, just like when he screamed Suga, just that deep war cry, like blood is boiling. Alright, number 9, episode 19. Of course, Hinata's just running everywhere. He's committing to that play. He's drawing the middle blocker. Tanaka's ready. And everyone's confused. Who is he gonna set on the perfect pass? And Asahi's been killing it from the back row. Pipe! Oh! Still gets me every time, man. Everyone's just locked because they're so focused on everything else. Man, that's a pretty badass move. And Kageyama with his bangs flailing like, yeah, I got you back. Take that. And the second best part is Oikawa's reaction. Not only did it score a point, but it pissed off K-pop in his face, and Kageyama says it directly to his face. That's right. I love that this underclassman is not intimidated by his hair, K-pop's hair. Little brat. Alright, the last one, number 10, my favorite one. One of my favorite ones of the entire season, and it doesn't have any action. But it was just definitely the most emotionally most engaging one. And one thing I love about this one is, to me, I just relate to it so much as a coach. There were many times where I knew my team just fought so hard and they didn't do anything wrong. They just got beat straight up, and that's just such a hard pill to swallow. And now he's rebuilding their spirits by feeding them. You know, food is one of the most universal love languages. And this is also a symbol of helping your team move forward. We gotta eat, we gotta be stronger, we gotta heal from this and move forward and continue to get better. And sometimes when your heart hurts, you can soothe your heart by satisfying your tummy. And this scene also made me really hungry. Actually, I'm gonna confess, I actually bought some Japanese food a day after this one. Even their slurp, those chopstick sounds. And I love how the coaches are just watching. They're actually not even eating. I'm sure they're hungry, but I think they're just enjoying this moment of taking care of their team and nurturing them, both emotionally and physically, and just affirming them that it's going to be okay. That's why this was such a great scene. It's going to be okay. Grow stronger, be better. Let's keep moving forward. You're going to be okay. We just finished my favorite scenes from season 1. I want to hear from you guys, so let me know what your favorite scene is from Season 1 in the comments below. Now we'll move on to the top 10 questions from the fans. There are over 400 questions posted and thousands of votes casted, so thank you for participating in this fan Q&A. You guys asked some really tough questions and made me think a lot harder than I thought I would have to. Before we go into the questions, we just restocked our Elevate Lightweight hoodies and our Elevate Athletic Tee 2.0, so make sure that you purchase your Elevate apparel with the discount code and link in the description box. I'm going to start off with the questions that had the least number of votes and end on the most popular question, so make sure you watch all the way to the end of this video. Starting at number 10 with 218 votes. If you have a player like Tsuki, who you have said had the bad attitude of too cool for school, how do you handle that sort of player? Do you simply let them maintain that attitude, or do you feel it's a coach's responsibility to try and bring out the drive within that player? I've definitely coached a few Tsukis in the past that were difficult to engage socially and emotionally. The best way to try to improve Tsuki's attitude is to have a clear set of expectations on acceptable team behavior that everyone needs to follow. For example, everyone needs to cheer the team on, whether they're on the court or on the bench, and encourage each other with positive body language, such as high fives and pats on the back, or even a thumbs up. These are bare minimum behaviors that every player needs to follow, regardless of their personalities, whether they're an extrovert or an introvert, because they're essential for building a strong team culture, camaraderie, and most importantly, positivity. If they don't practice these behaviors, there will be consequences, such as running, losing playing time, or in extreme cases, being removed from the team. The second thing I would do for Tsuki is to have more one-on-one conversations with him. This helps me learn more about his personality, what motivates him, and also lets him speak more honestly, which builds trust. If there's a social behavior that needs to be improved, I'll ask him in private why he didn't engage with a player, how his teammates view that behavior, and how he can improve it. You want players with difficult attitudes to feel that you are actually rooting for them and want them to be an integral part of the team. Number 9 coming in at 336 votes. As someone with a health impediment unable to play sports, I grew up hating sports because they made me feel left out and discriminated. Finding Haikyuu meant finding enjoyment in volleyball even though I can't play it, and understand why everyone likes sports so much. So my question, as a coach, do you think there are ways to make everyone feel welcome to the world of sports, even if they are unable to play? And what should we do to help everyone feel welcome? Hopefully my question makes sense. I'm sorry to hear about your health impediment and how that made you feel about sports. I'm glad that you were able to still discover the excitement of volleyball through Haikyuu, even though you haven't played volleyball before. If you think of professional sports teams, a successful organization is more than just recruiting the most talented players and coaches. It's about creating an environment where fans feel like they are actually part of the action and part of the team culture, whether it's through TV or a live event. The most important aspect is the attitudes of the players and the coaches relative to the fans. You can be an extremely gifted player, but if the fans don't feel like they can connect with you, you won't have any fans, and then you won't have any money to run an organization. Volleyball athletes in general are very accessible, especially compared to other sports, and you can actually talk to them after games. So creating a culture where athletes are more accessible, down to earth, and engaging is critical for helping fans feel a part of the sports world. When it comes to broadcasting, it's important to have camera work that helps you play slow motions of important plays so viewers can understand exactly what's going on, and also commentators to help explain what's going on for the newcomers to the sport of volleyball. Number 8 coming in with 392 votes. Based on what you've seen so far, who's your favorite character on Karasuno? If you can't choose, then who's your top 3? My favorite character has consistently been Hinata from beginning to the end. I relate to him the most because he has a childlike joy when he plays volleyball, obsesses about volleyball all the time, doesn't let his height deter him from competing against the highest level possible and against taller players, becomes increasingly aggressive when the odds are stacked against him, always tries to do what's best for the team, and he's just a good kid at heart. A lot of these qualities remind me of myself. Number 7 coming in at 424 votes. Hey coach, in anime, there is usually a struggle between realism and stylistic choices in terms of art. How do you think Haikyuu handles this in their volleyball plays and team relationship? Almost every character in Haikyuu has picture-perfect form and fluid technique. That's definitely not the case in high school volleyball, or even at the professional level. In some areas, you can tell the artists had to compromise some of the realism for more of an artistic appeal to the anime. For example, Kageyama is an amazing setter and has great setting technique, but you often see him spreading his hands out, which is actually a bad setting technique. The funny thing is that he only does this when it's from the setter's point of view, but not when it's from any other view. I can see why the animators chose to do that, because you will have a better view of the hitter when the hands are out of the way. Another compromise for realism is how every hitter folds their legs back during a jump when they're spiking. That looks very cool and athletic, but the reality is that each hitter has a different jumping style that can be equally effective. Also, the amount of times that the players are running all over the court when they're loading for a big spike is unrealistic but great for a dramatic effect. In sixes, there's no need to take 8 to 9 steps for your hitting approach, and there's not even enough space to do that. Number 6 coming in at 528 votes. What were your expectations for Haikyuu when you started making these videos? What are your thoughts on the anime now? I thought Haikyuu was going to be simply a fun story with a few cool volleyball scenes. I didn't expect it to be so relatable and realistic in terms of how they animated volleyball movements and technique, and how emotionally relevant the entire storyline is. It's rare to have something so accurate to the craft, such as volleyball, but also so relatable to non-volleyball players. Usually, you have to dumb things down to make it more accessible for non-volleyball fans, but they stay true to authentic volleyball strategy, technique, and competition. Number 5 coming in at 568 votes. If you were to play with Karasuno, how would you adapt their play style and how would you utilize them? Since the Kageyama and Hinata combo are the heart of the Karasuno offense, I would focus on disrupting that in 2 ways. First, I would hit or tip at Kageyama, especially when he's in the back row, so that he has to pass the first ball and not be able to set. No Kageyama, no Hinata. This also means that they have to set Asahi more, since he receives the majority of the out-of-system sets, which will tire him out faster. Which also leads to my second strategy: serve Asahi short. Not only does he seem to be the weakest passer compared to Tanaka, Daichi, and Nishinoya, serving him short will make him have to work harder during his hitting approach, since he will have less momentum to spike. This is another way to try to get into his head, disrupt his hitting rhythm, and tire him out even more. Number 4 coming in at 817 votes. After seeing Kageyama and Hinata's free quick be countered by Nekoma, Datako, Seijo, what do you think the team is going to do moving forward? What would you do as a coach to give the team its best chance at success? There are 2 disadvantages for running a lightning-fast offense. Being consistent with the accuracy of the setting, because it's essentially an all-or-nothing set, and the ability for attackers to change the direction of their swings. The problem that Hinata encountered against Seijo is that even though he had no blockers up during a few times, he still got dug because he couldn't change the direction of his swing. You actually don't need a lightning-fast set to beat the blockers. The most important aspect is to be deceptive. So I would train Kageyama to focus more on watching the opponent's blockers, specifically the middle blocker, and set the opposite direction of wherever the middle blocker is moving towards. Then I would train Kageyama to slow down his set just a little bit in order to give Hinata more time to change the direction of his attack. Also, using Kageyama as another offensive threat by dumping more frequently will also help diversify their offense. Number 3 coming in at 973 votes. As a coach, which character do you think would be the most challenging player to coach? This regarding all the volleyball players from this season, or if you would rather only from Karasuno. And which one is the easiest? Which one do you prefer, challenging or the easiest ones? Kageyama would be the most challenging player to coach because he's fiercely competitive, naturally more selfish, and has low social and emotional intelligence. These qualities make it difficult for him to succeed with the team because they actually create more distance and distrust with the teammates, as you saw earlier in the season. The easiest player to coach would be Nishinoya because he already has a strong competitive drive, great attitude, highly motivated, awesome core energy, very positive, good communicator, and a solid teammate. In general, I prefer to coach the easier type of player because they naturally have all the qualities you want in a player, which means they will improve faster. It's very difficult to teach somebody how to be a good teammate. The energy you spend on trying to mature someone's personality, you could have spent that energy instead on trying to improve someone's skill. Number 2, coming in at 1,100 votes. What techniques or strategies have not been used so far in Haikyuu that you expect might show up in future seasons? I expect there to be X plays, where 2 hitters cross paths when they spike, faster big attacks, jump float serves, more libero setting, and more D-ball attacks. We still haven't seen a dominant right side hitter yet, so I'm assuming Season 2 is going to feature an athlete like that. I foresee a position change as well on Karasuno. Maybe Hinata is going to try left side, and a new middle might take his spot. Who knows? Number 1 coming in at 1,700 votes. If you can make a starting lineup from every team that was shown in depth in Season 1, so anyone from Karasuno, Josai, Nekoma, Tokonami, and Datetek, who would be your starting 6 plus libero? I think we'd all be very interested to see what type of players you would want to coach or use on your team and what kind of strategies you would deploy. If I had to choose the strongest team based on Season 1, my starting lineup would be Nishinoya at libero, Aone and Kindaichi at middle, Asahi and Daichi as outside hitters, Kageyama as the right side hitter, and unfortunately, I would have to choose Oikawa as my setter. Let me explain my roster because it's a combination of skill, athletic ability, experience, and personalities. Nishinoya seems to be the passer that every team has their eye on. He's mentally committed to his role as a libero or guardian, has contagious positive energy, and empowers his hitters to freely focus on their attack. Aone is the most dominant blocker and has an intimidating presence about him that gets in the head of his opponents. He's also shown leadership with his fellow blockers in the front row, communicating blocking strategy. He's a classic example of how defense can score points for you. Even if he doesn't block you directly, he's going to force you to make errors because they're going to try so hard to hit around you. Kindaichi is more of an offensive middle with good size and jumping ability, and already has a good connection with Oikawa, so a strong middle attacker will balance out a strong middle blocker. Asahi seems to be the most powerful attacker that I've seen so far, and he's already embraced his role as the ace on the team, so he can get his team out of difficult situations even against 3 blockers. Plus, he adds some nice back row offense. Daichi provides strong leadership and stability on the court with his unique personality. So I would make Daichi the captain and definitely not Oikawa. Daichi is not the most powerful hitter, but he will make smart decisions, minimize errors, and provide more ball control, which is a good balance with Asahi. Even though we only saw Kageyama hit the right side just one time, the fact that he did it so easily without any warm-up shows his deep understanding of that position and volleyball in general, and defense on the right side would be the same as a setter. We already know that he has a powerful arm from his jump serving, which is another added bonus, so his hitting will be just as powerful. Another added bonus is that he can be the second setter when Oikawa has to pass the first ball, so they can continue to run a high-level offense at all times. I totally forgot to include Oikawa, and I promise it wasn't personal. This video just took a long time to make and it just totally blanked my mind. But the reason why I selected Oikawa out of all the setters and not Kageyama is because of his experience. So it's very obvious that he makes some great decisions under pressure, and when his team is down, he has full confidence that they just need to adapt, talk about a new strategy, and they can come back. And he did a great job of that against Karasuno. He's also an offensive setter, so he can dump, he can hit on the second contact, a great jump serve. He plays defense, so he's an all-around setter, and even if his sets aren't as athletic and lightning fast as Kageyama, he knows how to find his hitters, and he's great at making all his hitters better. So that's why I selected Oikawa as my starting setter, unfortunately. So there's my ideal lineup for Season 1. This was definitely the most fun question to answer. Let me know what your ideal lineup is in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in Season 2.